Hey, so today we're going to work on creating the basic stuff to incorporate the metadata into the forecasting models. Um, because like there are many, as I've talked about on some of the other videos, and the general kind of channel as a whole, there are many times when you would probably want metadata to be incorporated into your forecast. Um, so this is really going to actually work in two steps. In this first one, we're just going to create the modules or refactor the modules necessary to train kind of meta betting, various meta and techniques for embedding the metadata. And then in part two, we'll kind of look at how to incorporate that metadata into the actual forecast models and different techniques for doing so. So we're going to start out with essentially just adding a very simple autoencoder to the repo, and then as soon as we do that, we're going to try to create a config file for the autoencoder and kind of run it using our existing infrastructure. Because I think actually a lot of the infrastructure, if the config is properly set up, it should be able to handle also doing the meta embedding, but there are some caveats to that, so we'll just quickly go through those and then try to see how that works. I just created a new fresh branch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over and start with the simple autoencoder. There was actually a pretty good tutorial on an autoencoder on PyTorch recently that I've actually used a fair amount. So I'm actually just going to use this autoencoder because it actually, in my experience, worked very well. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to copy that code. I'm going to create kind of a new module, a set of modules called meta models. And then what we're going to do in here is we're just going to touch basic ae.py, which will stand for the basic autoencoder. Couple things we'll do immediately. We'll just add the proper imports. Import torch, import torch.nn, so from torch import nn. This should be 2 to go with like. We are going to actually do this so it's not just keywargs. So we're going to do both input shape and out features as parameters. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do this will be input shape, this will be just out features, and then we'll just so encoder output layer, so the hidden layer, so the number of out features would be similar. So this would be, let me just see, activation. So it runs this hidden layer, which then just goes from the input shape to out features, and then again, this is just going to be from out features to out features in terms of parameters. Then this layer, again, I think that's going to be from out features to out features again, and then the final layer is in features, and again this will go back to so this is again going to be out features, and this is going to again go back to the input shape. We're just parameterizing it so this can be kind of easily configured later on. So we have to add a new line at the end of the file. This probably doesn't like the trailing white space, but then that's the basic autoencoder model. So one other thing we have to do quickly is just add this to the model dict. For now, we're going to have the exact same model dict for both things. So we're going to go from flood forecast dot meta models, and we're going to import the basic AE. This is actually going to be dot basic AE. Import AE, and what this is going to do, we're just going to call it basic AE, and this is going to be AE right here. Yeah, so that's going to be the basic model structure. So we'll just say adding basic auto encoder, and we'll commit that. Actually, I'll try to do just one commit, I guess, with multiple things. So now what we'll also do is we're going to create a very simple config file to test this and see how it works. So actually, I mean, an autoencoder you could really use on pretty much anything, but it has to take only one row in this case. So yeah, I'm just going to add all three of these together in one commit. So we're going to then go, we're going to take an existing model JSON file. We are going to have to, the config is going to change a lot here, or I don't know if that's actually a valid one. Let me just check real quick. Okay, so no, yeah, actually this should be eliminated because this isn't an actual config. But we will have to change this config file quite a bit here. So we're going to call it AE config, or I guess AE test is fine. So what we're going to do for here is we're just going to, so this is going to become AE basic. And then these are going to essentially just be the change parameters. We'll get to those in a second, but first thing first, this is always going to be 1. And actually, one of the problems I do think with reusing the forecast architecture is some of this readability is going to be kind of odd. So I might actually find a way just to map this to the same thing. So this would actually just, because yeah, these parameters aren't necessary here because they're oh yeah, so actually, yeah, I just realized something. So, yeah, we are going to have to create probably a separate data loader for the autoencoder. Just for that. So actually, this probably isn't going to work. But what we can do is we can actually subclass the first one. So, I am going to just sort of change this to be what I will think the thing will be like. So in the end, like with the original thing, we will include params here. This will be kind of the basic model param stuff. And what's going to happen here is this will be that input shape. And here if we're using these, it's at least going to be free. I know obviously in an autoencoder we generally have much higher dimensionality, but for the unit test, free is fine. We'll do output shape. Or it was output features, I think. Will be 128, so that's essentially the hidden size. I think that's right. Yeah. In out features, yeah. So that's kind of what this will look like. So actually, yeah, I think we'll probably do a separate thing where these params aren't essentially used, because yeah, these won't be in this config because those will always be 1. Data. So we are going to do a custom data loader for this. I think that will subclass the other one. but implements some other good functionality. We probably will still have these free params. And then the idea is that, so yeah, obviously there won't be a difference in target columns versus regular columns. Because, well, at least for the autoencoder data loader, unless we're doing kind of a supervised autoencoder, then yeah, we're not going to have a set of columns that is going to be the target. It's just going to be the input and output. So we probably will just have relevant columns, not a target columns. Actually, we could have this, maybe just thinking, have that as like an optional parameter later if we did want to do kind of a supervised autoencoder. But I won't think about that right now. So we will still have a standard scaler. I don't think, at least with the autoencoder, interpolation will be an issue. So for now I'm going to remove. So I guess that would be if you had missing values in that row or set of rows. I don't think that would be too much of an issue, but we could leave that there. These will very much stay the same. Things like this will also stay the same. The inference params is going to change a lot. I mean, for one, we won't have a date time start. We won't have a number of hours to forecast, obviously. And we won't have a simple, yeah, we won't have to have any of the decoder stuff. So, and then again, these will be the same. Actually, I'm probably just gonna look for a way with inference. I actually don't think we even need inference params with this, because yeah, we're not gonna really be plotting much, which was the main point of inference params, was to plot an actual graph over time of the model. So yeah, I think this is what the kind of toned down file will look like. Again, so I don't know why that's there anyways. So that is kind of what I think the params file will look like, for instance, when all is said and done for this model. Yeah, I think opt-in params can be optional, and we could do like an if statement if it's included. So I think just to consolidate that down, that's what it will look like. So we'll add all three of these. So that's kind of the basic thing that we wanted to add. So that's kind of our template of how it will work. Now we actually have to go and probably do a data loader to actually leverage this. So yeah, we'll go design a data loader right now, and yeah, see how that works. So first, we're gonna go into preprocessing, and we're gonna look at the general one we have here. So with this, what we're gonna do instead of using this is we're going to probably subclass this. So, because we would like to keep most of this functionality, at least I think in the initialization, but we really want to override for the most part this get length, this get item, which returns essentially that +1. So yeah, so that's the um, main thing. Um, so yeah, that's the main thing we'll want to try differently here. Um, is essentially doing that, and so here, and we'll also override this here, the len. Uh, but besides that, I think most of this functionality we'd actually want to keep. So yeah, that's kind of what we'll do, and then what we can do is then just pass these as kind of default stuff. So I'll show you quickly how we'll probably do that. And then we'll get started. So we'll call this like AE data loader, and we'll subclass CSV data loader. Obviously I have to write class. We will have an init self. So yeah, we will need to have probably roughly, we will copy some of these, as I said, some we won't, but that's kind of the gist of what we do. So init self, okay. So yeah, I guess, yeah, with init, do something like this. So that's the method signature. And what we'll do is we'll just call this very simply. So first, we'll call super.init. And what we'll do is, as I said, these two things aren't actually going to be included here. What we'll do is, we'll do, I have to remember where they are. File path is going to equal file path, or do I have to do self here too? Let me see, I forget some of this. So file path is going to be file path, and then target yeah, we're not going to have a target column because it's an auto, or we might if it's a supervised autoencoder. I'll have to think. For now, we won't worry about what a supervised autoencoder will look like. For now, we'll just do it this way. So this will be file path. We'll do like forecast history. History is always going to be 1. Forecast length is going to be 1. So I'm just quickly looking over some of this. Okay, so yeah, it looks like forecast history, forecast length, and target column. So target column is just gonna be like none for now. Or actually we could default this to none here, so at least it could be a parameter we have when we go to implement the later thing. And then we could then just use that. Target column, this is going to give us a really long line error in a bit, but target column, and then relevant columns that we do need, so we'll use, we should probably do columns equal relevant calls. Start stamp. And stamp. So I think that one's default. End stamp equals end stamp. And then interpolate. Well, at least put interpolate to false, just in case. Interpolate param equals false. Where should I split this? I guess this is really continuous line over indented, so this is over indented. How's that over indented? Maybe that. Okay, whatever. How's that over indented? Just wants them all like that, I guess. So that's the basic super.init. Here we would handle any other stuff we needed to do. I think this should handle most of that right now. The main thing we need to worry about is just this is a lot of blue. What? Yeah, but that's that thing. I don't even know what this whole thing is. So I think that's good for there. We now need to override. We will have to run the linter. It's probably easier to just run the whole linter at the end rather than figure these things out as we go. So len, instead, it's just going to be len. It's just going to be, we're just going to return self.df self.df.index -1, or len of that. Missing white space around operator. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to ignore this stuff, but it's just not easy actually. No new line. Okay. So convert history batches. Okay, yeah, we don't need to worry about that. So get item, this is going to be the one thing we do need to obviously change. Since this is an autoencoder, essentially it's just going to return the item and then the item itself as the XY, because that's how our training loop already works. So this is going to be get item, and it's going to have self and an index. So this is actually just going to be as simple as return return self.df dot ilock index dot numpy torch dot from numpy. The training loop already has the stuff from the right device, so this is going to be as simple as this. I think the auto sync already handles the irrelevant columns, so we should be good with that. Yeah, that should hopefully work. So so this will actually be yeah, that's the core of what we need to return. So no new line. It doesn't like that there's no new line at the end of the file. There's a new line there. So that's still giving the line too long. So that's the basic autoencoder. We are going to need to add some tests for that, but we'll commit this. Add basic PyTorch loader. Actually, let's try to add a test for this now too. Actually don't know the best way to do the unit test for this. Actually, we're going to do a whole thing of the different data loader tests, so this might be a good chance to actually improve our test coverage on all the data loaders and stuff. So yeah, oh yeah, here's one. So we'll actually keep using this dataset params. Oh god. So let's see. So let's see. Okay, so it looks like basically before this was the different set of database params that we were testing, and then what was going on was some of this. I don't know if this is actually being tested right now. Let's actually do from flood forecast preprocessing PyTorch loaders. Oh wait. Oh yeah, we should just do all free. Stupid. So CSV data loader, and then we'd also want AE data loader. So we'll import those free. So that looks good. So what we'll do is, yeah, let's actually create some very specific test data, which we can use to test our data loaders. So yeah, we'll actually test to our new type of config. Okay, so yeah, let's do I don't like that doc string. So test class to test data loader functionality, specifically return types and indexing to make sure there is no overlap. Okay, so self.database params. Okay, I don't actually think any of this is actually running. in our test. We can look at our actual test too. Is data loader tests ever run? I don't think it is. So, yeah, so self, what doesn't it like about this? Line too long. Can I turn off line too long? Because it's not in our lint. But, so that's that stuff. Okay, so database params, I guess this is what we'll use to test those two data loaders. Just the way this was formatted is very hard to read though. I actually, this needs to be formatted clear, because I really can't tell what's going on with that. So that's the path. Yeah, we'll just improve some of this readability. This might seem like overkill, but this I think will make it much easier to read. So yeah, that's the basic param. Unaligned for hanging indent. That's perfectly aligned. I don't know why it thinks that's unaligned for hanging indent, but blank line contains white space. Okay, so God, I don't like some of the way this is, because I can't tell like what this is doing here. I would prefer the whole join would be on a single line. I don't know why, because it's not like that's even that long anyways. It's not like it's going off the screen. I know it'll probably now say the line is too long, but I don't really care if the line is that long. Because like at least now I can see what all it sings without having to look at weird indents. And I prefer to just see this all on one line. Like I could understand if it was like going off here, but okay, so yeah, we'll do self.ae loader, and then we'll do ae loader. Should we do a param file or not? I don't think we will actually here. What we'll do instead is we'll just do file path. I gotta think. Okay, I guess we could use this. Relevant columns. Actually, for relevant columns for the autoencoder, it maybe should just default to all the columns. Because like, okay, but yeah, I'll just quickly do this. But yeah, for now we could just, again, this isn't how we would do a real autoencoder stuff. We will just use these kind of generic free we've been using for everything else. So we'll do CFS, temp, persip. We normally wouldn't do that, I don't think, but yeah, so scaling. Oh, so from sklearn, scaling we'll do none for now. Start stamp, we'll do 0. And actually we'll just let those other ones, let them be. We'll just do this all like with the bare bones stuff. And then we'll just do a def test AE loader, or whatever. So self.ae loader. Oh, we'd have to actually wrap these in an actual data loader class to actually use them though. Self.ae loader. Wait, I think we could just do that thing where we get one, right? Or we could just do like XY. Can you do that with like .get item, like say 0? And then a simple test would be these actually should be exactly equal since it's an autoencoder. So that's a really simple test. What the fuck? Get off of my screen. What? How do I get rid of that? No, I don't want to run any debug. Get off. That's what the actual test suite is for. Okay, so that's basic. Blank line contains white space. Expected 2 lines. We'll run the full enter on most of this anyways. So yeah, that's the basic stuff. We'll do that plus test and test. And yeah, I'll take a brief break for a second, then come back. But I will, before I do that, I will try to roll this to a formal pull request. Adding metadata. Okay, so back. So yeah, it looks like while I was doing that, wait, how's this up to date with master? I created it from master. But in any case, yeah, let's look. some of the linting crap. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to run that on that. And okay. So so yeah, but first I will actually add this to the thing. So we should have a block, I think, for I guess this, if we don't want to create a full new block for data loader tests, it would make most sense. Maybe to put it under here. Oh wait, yeah, so here it is. It actually was running. So yeah, that's one of the things the linter probably picked up. So like, let's look at what the linter has problems with. The linter, so the linter doesn't like stuff in both loaders and in here. So, and here. So, yeah, we should probably just get the main thing out. I'm gonna see if like my old list of commands, there's just that. Oh yeah, here it is. I love that thing because I don't remember how to type it. So we'll do basic AE. Or wait, it's not saying those. Wait, never mind. Wait, which directory is this in? I have too many terminals. I'm gonna close them all. So we need to get the ones in tests and the ones in the, let's get the one in test first. Autopep, so this aggressive thing. Let me see what the file name was. Oh yeah, this will tell me the file name. So it's data loader test.py. Data loader. Oh, I guess I just copied it, but whatever. So that should fix all our linting things. Let's see if it pops up. So that fixes that. Yeah, so I guess it liked what this thing already was, but I actually don't really like that format, but I guess that's what the linter thinks. And I'm obviously not going to change that now. So the other thing was back in our actual core stuff. Actually, maybe I'll just cd dot and then cd into what was this dir? Oh yeah, this was weird that like the main kind of dir was called flow forecast, but then the inner dir was called flood. That should probably be changed at some point, but I'm not going to change it now. So I think it will. Oh wait, we actually have to go into preprocessing now, because it's that preprocessing. CD preprocessing. So here we go. We'll get our aggressive thing going. So we just need to do PyTorch loaders. Okay, so this didn't really do much. Linting fixes. We can now push and see what that does. And then hopefully the unit test will run and it'll be like, oh, everything's good. So that's what we wanted to do. Now let's see. I'd also like to. Now is also actually a good time to address an old issue that was on the repo. Was to include unit tests for actually all the data loaders. So actually now if I can get all free data loaders unit tests there, that will be a good way to finally verify. Well, I mean, I've verified manually many times, but just to get those automated tests to constantly check stuff. So, and finally close out. I think that issue was opened all the way back in November. I was like, I want unit tests for all these loaders. So that would be good to finally get handled. Though I will wait and just see what's going on here. Hopefully this. What? It failed again? How the fuck did it? Because it's imported but unused? Oh, fuck. Okay, well, we are going to use it. Let's just, for now, we'll just actually create like, oh, I guess that's the better way of doing it. Yeah, we could instead just do like 0 or something. But yeah, we'll add a test to, I know I have something uncontinued here, but I'll guess that in a sec. So we'll just do like a main loader test, and this will be self. Or actually, no, for now, actually, I'll just initialize it, and then, yeah, main loader. I'll just call it, like, the main loader, because this is our, like, CSV data loader. We'll just do it on the exact same file path. Forecast history, it's going to be... yeah, we can say free 36 again. Or wait, forecast history. No, that would be really long, actually. We'll just say like 30 maybe. Forecast length, we'll say 20. Target column is going to be CFS. Relevant columns are going to be CFS, persip, temp. Why is that still saying relevant columns? Oh yeah. Actually, I can just do this. Oh wait, yeah. I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. Okay, so that's the main stuff. Scaling. Yeah, we can just use all those defaults. Like, I will do actually target call equals and relevant columns equal, just for clarity. So that should be good. That will hopefully remove that stupid warning, and then we can get towards actually testing it. Actually, I might as well just add a test. Test training loader. We'll call it. So we'll call it self, and we'll just do something like xy equals self dot main loader. Something like that. Self dot assert equal. So these will be different, obviously. We'd hope it. So like self dot assert self dot assert. So in series, so basically now this should be 20 columns of just the target. So dot assert equal I'll actually call this train loader, because this is the loader we use in training. Grab the main. Self dot assert equal x dot shape should be the first dimension of the shape. Well, actually, we're not batching anything right now, so the shape, the first dimension would be the length, which should be 30. Self dot assert equal x dot shape dot 1 should be the number of time series, which should be free. Now we'll do it for y. Y should actually just be this shape should just be 20, and then it should be essentially one-dimensional. Last thing we want to check is just that probably the last one of the two don't equal each other, obviously. Self dot assert not equal y dot x dot, so the first one would be that, and then this would be, I think, 29, right? Or yeah, 0, 29, and then that would be 0, yeah, y 0. This might fail, that's fine. I might have gotten these dimensions a little wrong, but that's good. So, yeah, let's do this. Fixes to, or actually added test for trainer. Let's see. Metadata 4. So that's the main stuff we wanted to see. I'm pretty sure those were the correct dimensions for what those things should return. But again, I could always be wrong, so we'll see in a second. It couldn't possibly finished all those tests yet, but let's see if we get by winter. We didn't even get by the stupid winter. What? So this is apparently too long. In line 27. So we didn't have, I don't know. So yeah, apparently didn't like that. So under indented, it probably wants it right there. Under, so that's still under. Okay, so fixing line length. Okay, so let's see how this works. Yeah, the winter seems to always find something to complain about. Anyways, once this gets done, I do actually have a Kaggle notebook with the census stuff that we can then test this thing on. Though I honestly don't know I'll even get to that today, because I think there's a lot of work just writing tests and making sure the autoencoder works today. But I would like to start running the autoencoder on the census data. I already did do that once, like a while ago, but it wasn't part of our framework. It was just kind of like a notebook with an autoencoder. So I just want to make sure, obviously, our thing's similar. So it's not updating now. It's taking. So let's see what the linter does. Oh, oops. So yeah, what can we do while this is running? Oh wait, what happened? I'm so sick of that fucking linter. It's like line too long. Wait, 122. You fucking linter. Trailing white space and some stupid trailing white space. 27. It's like, gives me this shit about a line being too long and a stupid trailing white space. It's like, I don't even know. It's like I can still see it on my screen. The line isn't too long. Is this good? Mine over indented. How's that over indented? Say something's like under indented, and then you like, wait, this is still over indented? Where did you want it then? Like here? Or wait, no, they want it like lined up with this, right? Under, so that's under. Then one space over is over indented, so. In my opinion, this actually does very little to aid reproducibility, but yeah, so let's see. So we just committed. We'll see how this goes. We'll have to wait, of course, another probably minute or so for this to run. But we can start thinking about what we do next, I guess, and then how to initialize the different data loader. Yeah, and another question I've been thinking for a while is, do we need a different class for our meta modules? Like, so the time series modules all inherit from this one time series forecasting class. And I could reuse, I think, large parts of that. Actually, you know what I could probably do? I could probably subclass that. And then just override that data loader stuff. I could subclass PyTorch forecasts probably, and then, did it hit a linter problem yet again? Okay, so I finally passed linting. We'll see how the rest of these tests go. Should probably have given a better name than this, but so okay, so yeah, so at least linting got fixed. It's running. These do update, I think, periodically. One of the many reasons I use the GitHub desktop or the GitHub stuff. Okay, so model basic. So, okay, so this is running, not too much to do while the tests run. I mean, we can start laying out some of that next step code, I guess. So the next step, yeah, so as I said, I think I'm gonna subclass that. I think subclassing would probably be the better way to go of some of these functions. The other way to potentially do it would be to subclass. I could either subclass time series model itself, which would give me access to the upload to GCS method, which is useful in the weights and biases init method, which is also useful. More useful would probably be to subclass this whole thing. Then the only things I think I need to override are these make data loaders. So the same main thing to override here would be I didn't realize that this is actually dealt with in here. But in any case, the main thing to override here would be would just be this stuff. I could also, the other thing to optionally do would be to have this so it like loads based on another class, and then we'd use this class param so that we just pass in the data loader class that we wanted. The benefit of that might be then I wouldn't really have to override this whole function, and I could reuse some of this stuff. Another thing I could do is I could refactor this into some of this stuff into a different function. Then I could just do that. Yeah, that's the main thing, I think. So, anyways, we can think about that. Model basic test. So it looks like one of our tests failed here. Key error. Data loader tests in setup. So it's saying there's a key error of P01M in interpolate preprocess. Okay, so actually this is something. So interpolation, I guess, actually isn't working for anything but the old flow data, which is problematic. So this is actually a good thing that this kind of tells me, because interpolation shouldn't just be a thing geared towards the river flow data. Interpolation should ideally work on anything we pass into it. So that maybe should be spun off into a separate issue, or I could work on that now. But either way, it should probably be formally documented somewhere. The easy way to fix the actual unit test now would be to just, to just have interpolate be false in all these contexts. So now I lost my place, but yeah, we can do this. This should be fixed. So I'm not going to fix it now because this might be a big issue, but I would like to do this before the next couple at some point we can add it to our backlog. So interpolate only works with percip data. So just copy this error. So the idea would be to expand, interpolate to take, a set of params, and then just use those params. So I don't know what exactly I'd label this. It could be thought of as a bug, or it could be thought of as an enhancement. I guess I could call it a bug for now, because if you were using our framework and wanted to interpolate something, then it wouldn't work. I will throw it up on the board. We're actually not using any interpolate in our COVID forecast right now, so it's not that high priority to get it done, but not like some of this meta stuff, but it would be kind of important at some point. So going back to this, the way we fix that for now is just going to be very easy, extremely simple fix. We just tell it not to interpolate anything for now. So we'll just tell it interpolate param. It's going to equal false in both of these things. And it's just going to yell at me for a long line then again though. It might. So yeah, I think our max is like 120 characters, so it's probably not going to like this either. So it's okay, so that looks fine. And then here, similarly, we're going, I think interpolate, yeah, here the contrast is it's by default set to false, so, and I think, yeah, it's already false there, so that should be a pretty easy fix. Of course, now we'll have to wait for it to run again. There are ways of running all the tests locally, but I don't really like doing that. So, well, I mean, it's just that it usually takes a long time on my computer, even longer than on the CI. Plus, yeah, I mean, it's the place that's important that it run is on the CI place, so I pretty much entirely just push and then try to have stuff run on the CI. And then some people have different workflows for that, but that's how I pretty much do it. So we were talking, I think, before we looked and saw that the test had failed, that the interpolate, or wait, no, now I got distracted. We were talking about refactoring time model and the best way to do it. So I'd actually prefer, I think probably maybe just not to subclass this, but still use this general thing. And all I do is probably change or add an elf if to support our class. So do elf if class is equal to something loader type, and then what I do is I just change that to call our loader. I think that would be one of the easiest and most clean things to do. And then what we get out of this is we get all these functions. None of them we have to rewrite, because all these are, and none of these I think are inherently specific, even though it's called forecast to time series forecasting. So yeah, I think that would be potentially a good way to go about it. So I'll probably start doing that in a second. Before I do that, I'm just going to make sure all my tests are passing. Quickly. What? Now we got another linting shit. I honestly can't. Oh, stupid trailing white space. We gotta ask ourselves probably like, how useful is linting relative to the amount of time we spend dealing with lint errors? Because it's just, I honestly don't know. It's like, I spend a lot of time, I feel like, dealing with lint errors since we started adding the flake egg stuff. Like, how many of these commands are just lint or commits or whatever? Too bad with the linter. It kind of got screwed up again, but hopefully we'll pass that linting check now. So yeah, what we were talking about before is that we want to, what was that? Oh yeah, that got deleted. Actually, a good thing we could do that isn't dependent on the test necessarily passing is also to update and add more documentation and add things like the read the doc stuff for these things, and then like what we could do is we could then like build read the docs and stuff, and then get some of that documentation up to date. But I will check just to make sure linter didn't like screw up again. So I did pass linting this time around, and now it's going again towards our test thing. So the main thing, I actually wish this would run earlier at this point, is this model basic test, because that's where our tests are located for that loader. I'm hoping it will start soon on that. That's but in any case, yeah, let's look at maybe some of, I wonder actually if there's I don't know how I got this debug screen up. I don't really want debug, but I wonder if there is like a read the docs thing. Just visualize. Okay, read the docs. Set of snippets for helping document. That's something I need. So let's go back to read the docs. What we can do is we can start. I'm not actually sure if read the docs even has documentation on our tests, which, I mean, potentially some of that documentation on the test could be useful, but not necessarily. I think how you do stuff and read the docs, and it's been a while. Let's just do this. I probably should have done all these open with. So you do these auto modules. So what we could do is members. I wonder actually if that show inheritance is causing the problem on read the docs, because me and actually we'll check back here while I go. Oh, that one was canceled. So this is running now. You can see that. So we should have answers about that soon. Didn't you read the docs on here? Yeah, that was Safari. Read the docs. So because on read the docs, there was a problem with some of the PyTorch stuff, like including all the default PyTorch stuff. So this isn't actually our documentation, this is PyTorch documentation. I'm wondering actually if it could be possible that this show inheritance, why it might be good, it might be causing that stuff to pop up. I would prefer it to just show our kind of stuff in our repo and not necessarily like go through all the PyTorch functions, because those aren't really at all relevant to what we're doing. But again, I don't know if that's that show inheritance thing. We can look that up. Show inheritance. Yeah, I think some of that might be good to get rid of. So that's my guess is what it is. But she was primarily working on that piece, so I'm not gonna mess around with that right now. Yeah. Plus, I'm primarily trying to get this meta module stuff fixed. Do I have a one? Oh yeah, here's my one that was already up. So it looks like the tests are running. It looks like our test will probably pass. The thing it's running now looks like it's a test lower down. So, or wait, where is our test model? Oh crap. So it looks like there was actually a problem with our init requires a super object but received a data loader. So it looks like I screwed up the init function in some way. We can go back and look at that. I don't think that's right. Super.init. Yeah, I don't think you actually include self in that. Right. I get confused sometimes just by Python super init syntax, but I'm pretty sure that was the thing. Super.init. Yeah, it used to be you did something like that. Yeah, I don't think you ever included that there. I don't know why I thought that. Yeah, so that should be fine. Getting rid of that. So, oh, there. So yeah, that seemed to be the problem. I will add a doc string for here too. Now's as good as a time as any, so we don't trigger another build. That's 6, I think. A data loader class for auto encoders. Basically same, yeah, just say like overrides when and get item from CSV data loader, or just from generic data loader. Actually, I was just thinking these should probably also be called data sets, but I'm not going to change that now because these are the data sets. They're not actually the loader which you use to wrap. So yeah, it overrides len and get item from the generic data loader. Yeah, so also defaults forecast history and forecast length to 1, since AE will likely only use one row. Trailing white space. Oh god, yeah, I gotta make sure I don't violate any stuff. Okay, that looks better. I think that's good. Yeah, so, and then maybe just say something like same parameters as before. I have no idea. So remove bug and add doc string. Actually, do people usually like their doc strings longer or shorter? I guess we could probably, no, that would be too long. I kind of like, is that over 120? It's not over 120, I don't care. Okay, so that's our core stuff. Yeah, I think now that should hopefully pass the tests. So yeah, hopefully that's working. I do, at 1:30, I do have the, or wait, no, that's at 2:30. Yeah, it's already 2. It's past 1:30. So yeah, at 2:30, which is in about 7 minutes, I do have our team meeting for Corona Y. So I'm gonna go and lead that in a bit. But after that's over, that will actually be uploaded to YouTube too, by the way, if anyone's interested in seeing the actual meeting. But after that, I'll come back to this and then go through more of the process on adding this. And the goal is hopefully by the end of the day have that like autoencoder model basically up and entirely running, so that yeah, you can start to use Flow to at least use a basic autoencoder to generate kind of the embeddings for like things. And then, as I said, part 2, which will kind of focus on then how to combine that metadata in. So there are obviously different techniques for the metadata too, and we're going to add them kind of though probably one at a time. The key here is to get some methods for the metadata added into the repo and some fusion methods to synthesize them added, and then from there we'll of course add more models, just kind of how we add more models in other places. and while also adding kind of new data loaders as needed, so that like for instance, or modifying the existing data loaders to support the new functionality. So yeah, that's kind of the idea for now. In terms of that, so yeah, that's kind of the main thing. But today, yeah, the goal is to hopefully be able to run that using our flow library and log the results to weights properly. So then we would have that base functionality kind of added for different types of the encoders. Then, yeah, as I said, more. Then after we get that, we'll probably actually start to look at that fusion method to fuse the things together to hopefully improve the accuracy of the forecast. Okay, so yeah, let's see. It does look like the test is firing back up. So we'll wait a bit for that to run. Let's see. So yeah, so I think that's the main thing. For now, so I will resume this, I think, at something like probably, yeah, maybe 3:30, 3:30, 15:30 or something like that, and then we'll continue some of the live coding to add all the meta features to the repo, so that everyone can see how that's done and how to do it. Yeah, let's go back and yeah, so yeah, I think that's how it will work. And then yeah, again, let me know if you have specific things you want to see more of on the live coding sessions, or things you think would be, I guess, overall helpful to understand. Let's see. So far this is running. It hasn't failed yet, which is good. In any case, I do have to go soon. I should probably move the test, in all honesty, up so that we don't have to wait. Oh, crap. Init of super needs an argument. What? Forgetting how to subclass stuff. I really think to use Python, some of these oh wait, some of the syntax I actually think for initialization and some of this stuff is really confusing here, so I'm just gonna try to fix this. No, wait, I did call init, or would that be right? I mean, I don't see the point of doing stuff like super. Okay, so let's very quickly do that. What? Did I save that file? Okay, so yeah, okay, so yeah, I think that's good for these two overrides and get item from. Okay, so yeah, actually that's good. So yeah, I'll do fixes. Um, Actually, yeah, I really do need to go since the meeting, but I'll be back. I'll be back, as I said, around uh, 15:30, so in about an hour, or 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, to finish up and yeah, hopefully get this entirely working. So yeah, I'll go turn this off now.